Welcome back, baseball fans. This is a continuation of the carryover prep, looking at the last chance guys from 1969. You may recall in the last video I brought up 13 players from 1969 who were either retiring that year because of their age, or they were simply one-year call-ups from the minor league and didn't actually establish a major league career. I got through 13 guys, and this video I'm just going to keep going through the list and find another group of players so we can take a look at them. So the constraints, again, if you recall, is that the yellow bands are hitters, the purple bands are pitchers, and then if the name adjacent to them is available, that means that that card is available in Strat-O-Matic. So I'm going to keep going down the list. Here's Julio Gote. So I'm going to make a designation in that column when I find a player. Keep going down. Not John Hairston. Jack Hamilton's there. And John Harrell is not. Billy Harris is not. Bill Heath is not. Woody Held is not. Bill Henry is not. Gary Higgins is not. Let's see, Gary Hill is not. Gary Holman. Walt Henry actually is there. Jesse Hudson's not. Al Jackson. And then keep going. Lou Johnson. Steve Jones. Let's see. Bill Landis. I'm also looking at, and sometimes you'll see next to a player's name. Let's go back to Gote for a second. The very first guy we isolated. That in this column here, this record indicates FLA for Florida, meaning that he's being protected by Florida, so it means that his stats are better than the unprotected guys most of the time. And a quick scroll over reveals that he did at 259, which is better than most of these guys are doing. I haven't found one of these yet, but if a guy comes up with a designation of a card, of a nameless card that I wrote into the league, I don't want to add him to the Carryover League. I'd rather not. I'd rather just keep the Carryover League cards to ones that Strat-O-Matic created instead of the nameless card if I can. Here's Danny Laser. Let's see, this Danny Laser is exactly what that is. Danny Lazar, I should say. This designation here, this 300 designation in this field indicates I handwrote that card. Probably because he's left-handed. He pitches and throws left-handed, so chances are you're going to get your card made anyway. So in this particular case, I wrote his card when Strat-O-Matic did not. Let's just keep going. Don Locke. I thought Don Locke was in the league, as a matter of fact. He has a good on base, I believe. Yeah. I'm thinking of Ted Savage, actually. Keep going. John Miller. Keep going. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but it's kind of cool because you can get it's like digging for gold. Like one of these guys is really going to, Gene Oliver. Like one of these guys will turn out to be like the Orioles signing Bill Duran. or Butch Winnegar in the last draft. Basically, they were on the street, and it's really fascinating. The Orioles cut Marty Barrett, who had 303, and signed Bill Duran, who had 249. And the reason was Duran was a switch hitter, and the Orioles already had a right-handed second baseman in Davey Johnson. That's kind of the story how Duran ended up. And believe it or not, Barrett can, unfortunately, the timing of it was everybody had a second baseman, and Marty Barrett had to sit out. It hit 303 for the Red Sox. He had to sit out and not play in the league last year, which is crazy, I think. So let's see here. All right, so Nate Oliver, not Gene Oliver, goes in. Look at that, Pagliaroni. His name was in there. And of course, we know why. He was on the Dodgers. That's why you don't see him in here. He had that. He had all that incredible performance for the Dodgers last year. But that was his last year in '69. So it would be great for the Dodgers to move him. We talk about they need to create assets for Sutton. So I think Pagliaroni will be part of that Milwaukee trade. All right, Johnny Padres is a 300. Not going to be good enough. John Purdon, Dick Raditz, Al Raffo, protected by Las Vegas. That's good news. That's good news. 23. Raffo had a 4.11 ERA. That's not bad. So he has a good chance of getting into the league. Getting down to the bottom here. Juan Rios. Okay, Juan Rios is there. Buck Riders is not. He's a 300. Ray Rockenkirk is a 300. Don Schneider, also not in the league. Steve Shea, Bill Short, Dick Simpson, John Sippen. There you are. There's another guy. Unprotected though, so he's probably not good. He had 223. Pretty consistent. The protected guys are going to be decent. You're getting protected guys going to hit 250, 260. Unprotected guys hit around 200. Is sort of the rough guideline here. Charlie Smith and Dick Smith, no thanks there. Gene Stone, Ron Stone, Dick Stewart, no. Gary Taylor. Gary Timberlake, no. Dick Trzeski, how about that? Yeah. Oh, he hit 139. So probably not going to make it. Tom Tresh, this guy will probably get in there. He actually was a regular shortstop for the Yankees in the 60s. Wasn't that great? But on base and power potential. Charlie Vaughn, Vidal's a 300. Huh? Ozzie Virgil. Look at that. I wonder if it's his, I guess, father and son. Interesting. That would have been cool if they would have made the '69 card. They could have had both Ozzie Virgils in the league. That'd been neat. Oh well. Bill Voss, Ray Washburn, Dave Watkins. All right, here's a guy. I hit 176. And we're almost near the end of the list here. Bill White. Yeah, Bill White. Las Vegas protected him. Yeah, he played a long time in the league. 1956 to 1969. Lifetime 286 hitter. Bill White. He might get in the league for his on-base percentage. We'll have to look at his card when it's time to do that. Al Worthington, yeah, twin bullpen. But he wasn't really that good anymore in the twin bullpen, but he has some history in baseball. And then Don Young, the last guy here. All right, that's a look at the players. And now I'm going to pull the cards out and take a peek and see what it all looks like. All right, baseball fans, welcome back here. This is the full list. It's 32 guys that I was able to discover. And I've got them sorted by OPS. And this is sort of a kind of a look at what we found here. Don Young has all those traits of that high OPS: homers, walks, Ks, power both ways. A 310 in center field is okay. You know, we talked about 240 guys leaving the league from 1984, and so there's going to be a downgrade in overall talent when you have that many players leaving. And even considering center field as a position, just off the top of my head, I can recall 84 center fielders leaving would include Kirby Puckett, Dan Gladden, Bob Dernier, Kevin McReynolds. There's just I just know there's going to be a lot of players leaving at a lot of very hard to fill positions. So it's quite possible that Don Young becomes a starting center fielder in the league next year. Again, though, I'm only focusing on guys that it's their last chance. This is the last year of this card, and then he's retired and out of the league for good. So a team will say, you know what? I'll struggle with this guy for 1 year, and then I'll get a better talent pool in the following years, including the 1973 set, 70, 71, 72, and 73. So this is Don Young. I'm just going to kind of go through, and I'm thinking this guy gets in as a platoon at least. This Tom Tresh, I think he'll get in. Switch hitter, your shortstop with power both ways, walks against lefties, extra base hits, homers against righties. 2. It's not a great card. None of these are going to be great cards, but I'm thinking this card gets in the league. We talked about Bobby Cox last time, and we mentioned Ed Charles last time as well, and Ron Davis. Here's a new guy, Dave Watkins. Okay, we have to look at these with rose-tinted glasses now. He can catch, he can play third base, and play left field. He's got a lot of walks on his card with the power. Now the batting average is going to start to dip down. Yep, 176. But he has on base. I mean, I have no idea at this point if any of these cards from here on down are going to get into the league, but at least, you know, it's John Sipin. Well, you can field. He's a 3 at second. Oh yeah, we love the triple and 7 there. Strat-O-Matic loves to make sure those guys get those 2 triples. Has a lot of extra base hits in those at-bats when you think about it. Oh, here's a cool guy. I mean, all the infield positions. So some American League team will sign this guy and sit him on the bench for the World Series, and when the Mets go to Tug McGraw in the 9th inning, this guy's going to pinch hit. Roll a 3-6. And there you go. So, again, there's always value in looking at these guys. Walt Henryak. Well, he's left-handed. +2 arm. I don't think so. And again, we saw Amara last time. Juan Rios, now, he has that fortuitous split here. Power against lefties and a better hitter against lefties and righties in a smaller percentage. So that's how you get into the league generally, with second being your prominent position and can play all the middle infield positions. I'm thinking, yeah, this guy gets in. What did he hit? 224. We looked at Dick Berry last time. We looked at Lou Johnson. No, we didn't. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Nate Oliver. Hey, he's got the power on 1.5 homer, but no. And on one position, it's not even good. So probably not, no. And again. And now this is interesting. We're really... Yeah, this is the last guy, based on OPS. But it's Dick Tracewski, the lowest guy here, right? Last chance, last year. Hit a 139, folks. But he is a 2 at short, a 2E36, and a 2 at second base. And look at the on bases, at least. He gets these walks that make up for the bad batting average. He's a B bunter. 1-14 runner. I mean, there's a lot to consider here. And the Tigers might actually bring him to their team, knowing that Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker are gone. If it is Detroit, they'd let Norm Cash be full-time first base, just go with 3 guys catching at first and DH. Yeah. And then have 5 guys on the roster at second, third, and short. The pitchers are even worse. We saw Geishert last time. This guy is the lowest whip in this list. Al Worthington. Well, the Twins. He's got history with the Twins, of course. But much earlier than that, like in the 65 World Series, I'm guessing. He can get some righties out, kind of, sort of. So that might be his ticket. Not sure why Wickersham wasn't protected. Obviously, the percentages aren't good to him. But a righty who gets kind of some lefties out and a relief 3, this guy's getting in the league. This was an oversight by Kansas City Royal expansion team not to keep him. He was probably just a one-hit wonder, I'm guessing. Obviously he was. 69 was his only year. I think this card gets in the league, though, just for 1 year. Because, again, there's going to be a lot of bad pitchers out there, so... Like this guy. No. Or this guy. Maybe against righties, but the homers are... Yeah, Burkhart. We saw him last time. Now, this guy's interesting. Bill Landis. He's left-handed, folks. Because he throws with his left hand, that makes him valuable. And when you look at him against lefties, we're counting hits on the card. We're ignoring these walks, pretending they don't exist. But the hits aren't that bad. 4, 5, and 5 with a 1 on line out the rest. So, and he's a relief 3, starter 6 too. I think this guy's got a decent chance of getting the league with a 5.27 ERA. Remember, Juan Agosto got into the league for the World Champion or the World Series representative Cincinnati Reds. So, Gary Bell. And then lastly, in a positive light, I guess, we have the guys who were protected by teams, meaning that at least these teams thought they had more value. We started last time with Paul Edmondson, and we said we like this card. We think it's going to get in as a starter 7. It's good enough. So we like that one. Next, Seattle, the American League. Ron Law. They protected Ron Law. Now, that's kind of tricky. It doesn't look very good because he's not very good. But it was Seattle. It didn't have any players anyway. So they got, after every team protected 12 guys, that's when Seattle got to take a look at their first 12 guys. So Seattle, whether they want to sign him or not is to be determined. A lot of guys in the National League. Florida Marlins, Julio Gote. I like the bat against lefties. I like the E rating at second against lefties. So he could get in the league. It's possible. We looked at Dick Farrell last time. Or Turk Farrell for Philly. Arizona. Here's a cool on-base machine. Don Locke. The 2 with the -1 arm in the outfield. Has the power and the walks against lefties. Doesn't hit any double plays. Has it on base. 224. And lastly, Las Vegas. This one's tough. Bill White had a very long, distinguished career, but this was his last year. And actually, he could still play first base defensively well, a 2.88. Has on base against righties. It is Las Vegas. It is the worst team in baseball. So I could see them, wanting a defensive first baseman if they had a roster spot. And Al Raffo, who, he's okay. 4.13 ERA in 72 innings. So again, this has not been a party identifying these particular players in this list. This is the last crack these 32 guys have a chance of getting to the league. 64 players from each year get picked. So at least 32 have been interviewed for a job. So if I signed all these guys, then I'd have half the 1969 guys signed and need 32 much better players. So there's a lot more players available and better players available. But if I take those better players available, that means that I have to remove a card, that same player's card from the 70, 71, or 72 box. So that is a possibility if those players who you haven't seen in the 69 box, that 69 is their best year and they get worse, and worse in 70, 71, and 72. So that is also a possibility. But at least I like to get an identification going of who's out there. So that concludes the Last Chance Kids in 1969. We'll see you again next time.